Yeah, so we said if you want to track progress, confirm the schedule and be sure that this is the schedule that we're going to follow. Then after that, set it as a baseline. Then after setting it as a baseline, now you can start updating the whole project or marking the progress of different activities. Yeah. Yes.
See, when you're tracking, it means the project will start sometime.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, there's a meeting. The second site meeting.
Yes.
The monthly meeting. Now I want to track where we are.
Yes.
2 months ago.
Yes.
So my baseline, you first set the baseline. At that time, we want now to start tracking. No,
the baseline is set. Okay, like in normal scenarios, if you never jumped any step, you're supposed to first finish the schedule before the project starts.
You finish the schedule?
Yeah, before the project starts. Set it as a baseline.
Yes. Now,
now when
if I start setting a baseline now, it's like I'm beginning now. I don't set the baseline. Or maybe I will show the baseline was set somewhere on this.
Yeah.
Then I want to track now. So how will I do it if I set the baseline now? Then it means I can't track.
Okay, if now you're suggesting that you started the project already and maybe you jumped some steps. So what you will do, you use earlier dates. Yeah. Like the project start date will be a bit backward. Not the one which is in the future. So it will be a bit backward. Then after that, you set the baseline.
At that time,
yeah.
Because the information you set your start date as, of course,
yes.
Then you start tracking.
Then you set the baseline. Then now you come updating. Yeah. So we're going to do it practical. Then you say, yeah, set it as a baseline. Update the percent complete of each activity. Then after that, you can now do various analysis. You can generate different reports. Yeah, so we're going to do it quickly. Then after that, we're going to look at multiple projects again because we covered it with them, but you are not there. We look at multiple projects. Then we're going to cover something new. How do you share resources in a company between different projects? So now I'm going to go to so I'm going to use this template, but it can be any activity. Yeah. So now if we sure that this is what we're going to use as our project schedule, we set it as a baseline. How do you set it? You go to project, set baseline, then you have to go to set baseline. But project, then set baseline. Okay, I think there maybe you can sit with him and you share, and also the other table is a bit comfortable. His laptop has a problem. You can put the laptop. Since you are using it, then you can sit and share with him. And also the table.
So what do that?
You can sit and share. Because his laptop has. Okay, Blan, let me hope you follow me. We are working on something, but I'm back. Yes, so we have our schedule. You can as well use, this is a commercial construction template. Yeah. The one we use for demo.
So we go to baseline.
You go to project, then set baseline. Yeah, but before you set a baseline, it is a good practice to clear the baseline. Because you never know, someone else may have set the baseline. Yeah, so you first clear the baseline just to be sure that there's no existing baseline. Yeah. So clear baseline for entire project, then place OK. Then now we're going to set baseline. Yeah. So you go back, set baseline, select set baseline. Yeah. So yeah, there are different options, but we're going to go with the one for entire project because you can set a baseline for selected tasks or for all the project. So we're going to set it for the entire project. It means that all the project will be making it as a baseline, all the schedule. Yeah. Then you place OK. We're going to see here. You can't see until you change to a tracking Gantt. Yeah, so you need to change from Gantt chart view to tracking Gantt. Yes. So now on the tracking Gantt, when you look at the graphical, that the bars, they have that dark gray bar, the one which is down. Yeah. So that means that is the baseline now.
Which one?
These dark, no, the gray ones.
The blue ones.
Yeah, because before that, before the baseline, they were not there. Before the baseline, you can undo, and I come back to tracking Gantt. Okay, it is there, but I can clear baseline. So when I clear baseline, it is not
So when
there.
you clear baseline, when you are in the tracking Gantt,
Yeah.
it is not there. So if you set the baseline,
Then the bars show. So in case of, okay, different colors mean something different. Now, like the red ones mean critical activities, but you can as well change to any other activity. Yeah. So in case of any changes into the plan, either this will go off the bar or it will be like to not be reaching that, but we're going to see that. Yeah. So we're done with, we confirm the project schedule, then we'll set the baseline. Now we're going to mark progress or update in progress. Yeah. So what you do, you come back to the Gantt chart. Yeah. Then you add a column called percent complete. Yeah. Then you click on add new column, then add percent complete.
where the new column, where the new column will give it.
So you can see the all have been 0%, 0%, 0%. It means that you've not marked progress. So it is about you to input the progress. The software cannot automatically detect the progress. It is you, the project manager or the engineer, to come and say this task has gone 10%, 20%, 50%. Then you input. So if you put wrong figures, it will also give you wrong results when you go for reports and any other thing here. So when we input, we only put on tasks. We don't put on like these levels or full project. No, we only put on only the tasks. Yeah. So for example, maybe now when I forgot to mark progress for some activities when we completed them. So you can come and select maybe all these levels completed. I've selected up to here. Then I come here to these different bars. Then there's 0%, 25, 50, 75, and 100. So I can say those ones are 100% complete.
So I come and highlight.
Yeah, you highlight. If you want to just do for one, just highlight one, then you come and select any of these. So it's not that always projects are always on 25, 50. So you can even type and you say this is at 67% complete.
Yeah. This case of ours, we are sure that people submitted. So that is 100%. Required back.
So now you can see that in terms of activity, find this level is okay, it's all complete, 100, 100. Then it is also showing 100, but the whole project is showing 3%. Yeah. Then also you can see that this is at 67%, but the level is at 6%. Here, this.
It computes.
Yeah, it computes.
What is in there?
Yeah. So if I have 10 tasks, then I've only computed 2. What is the overall? Yeah, that's what it looks at. Yeah, so you do the same. So now here we're just demonstrating it, but in like on a real project, this progress will make sense because you cannot say that I have a predecessor. Maybe in order for me to do setting out, I must have done clearing and grabbing. So you cannot say setting out is 80%, yet clearing and grabbing is at 20. So that can't happen. Eh? Yeah, but just here we're demonstrating how we go about it because it says the same concept.
Setting and setting, evaluation and updating, then we say the most typical example would be excavation, principal construction,
and excavation. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so the part, yeah, if you put the software will not tell you that no, it can't be. She will just accept.
So you mean only update progress then automatically
you update it here in the Gantt chart. Yeah, so everything, most of the changes you do into tasks, you do them in the Gantt chart. Then here there are different tables. When you right click here, or when you go to view and you go to tables. So the table where we enter things and what is called the entry table. So that is the one that you're supposed to. But it doesn't mean that even if I'm in the tracking Gantt, I can add columns. But yeah, but it is better to do it from that because I can come here and I add another column. It is also.
Can we update now give values?
The percentages? Yes, you can do. Yes. Dan, do you have any question? Here students are trying out something. If you have any question, I can answer it.
kulinda kulinda
Yeah, so for duration variance, it shows you how are you deviating from the anticipated duration that you wanted. So if you see it as a negative, it means okay, a negative is good in this way. Yeah, it means that you did it earlier by less than those number of days. Yeah, so if you see negative 1 day, it means that you were early by 1 day.
So if it was a total of 16, actual duration was 16 days. Actually. But in the programming, in the planning, I planned 17 days.
Yeah.
But actually,
16.
16 days is giving me a negative.
Yeah. Then where I see positive now, like here.
True.
Here we have duration variance 1, finish variance 2 days, start variance 1. So you may ask, why is it different?
Duration variance 1.
Yeah, duration variance of 1, it means that you added more than 1 day than what you had planned.
It means you added 1 day or more than 1 day.
Okay, you added 1 day more. For example, you had planned to take 5 days, but the actual is 6 days. So that's why it has a duration variance of 1 day. Now the finish variance, it means that, okay, let's start with the start variance. If it is 1 day, it means that you started late by 1 day. Yeah.
I started late.
By 1 day. Yeah. Then finish variance, it means that you finished late by those number of days. Yeah. So now you can see that here the duration, just adding 1 more day onto that duration, see it has pushed your finish by 2 days.
So finish variance and start variance.
Yeah. But also it is possible to have, it is not always like that because
there's something down there. I'm seeing 0 days, I'm seeing 1.8 days, then the variance is 0 days.
Okay, it can be like this. We have scheduled the activity to take 5 days. Then to start on Monday, by Friday it is done. But when we go to site, we start on Wednesday, but we take again 5 days. So is there a duration variance? There is no duration variance.
But you started late.
No, the duration is just the number of days. Yeah.
What about the scheduling? The schedule.
Because here we're looking at how are we variating from that duration. So if I schedule to take 5 days and I take exactly 5 days, the duration variance is 0. But you can see that the start variance is there because we started late. So those are like 2 days late. Then also the finish variance will be like 2 days later on. Yeah. So you've seen that you can have the same duration, but now start variance and finish variance can be different. They can be different. Yeah. So that's why you see we've added 1 day and we just delayed by 1 day. So it has to push by 2 days. This one we've been late, then also the other one that has been added onto the duration. Yeah.
So that means the duration variance is 0.
It can be 0, but when these ones are like, it's not always that if duration variance is 2, also start should be 2 and finish should be 2. No, shouldn't be like that.
So it is in the trunking that.
Yeah.
But I can be able to see what is happening after I've done some updates.
Then you can be able to see.
After I've done some updates, because in meeting, people want to know where are the particular activities. The meeting I've not started. Should be able to tell the trunking that should be able to tell them. Remove 0, work has been done, or nothing done yet. But when they need to start date, I think in the trunking that if you those dates will always be there.
Okay, the tracking Gantt is better for to input. If you want to input like actual start and actual duration or actual finish, you should put things that have happened already. Because we cannot say the actual start of this activity is this when we've not done it. You never know what will happen. What if it rains? and you're not able to start it. So it
So you
you should only record what is done.
What is done?
Yeah, don't record what is in the future.
Actually, what happens? You update on what's done.
Yeah.
But you want also to look at what will be done. So you go back to the Gantt.
You can go back to the Gantt chart. Yeah.
Because at the Gantt chart, there's a bit of also tracking percentage of work that is given also there. And if you click on that chart.
Because also, okay, if we come back to tracking Gantt, okay, tracking Gantt, and I come back to maybe the entry table.
That's tracking Gantt.
Yeah, it is tracking Gantt, but I've changed the table to entry.
Yeah, the way it looks.
Yeah, the other one was tracking table.
Tracking table.
Yeah. So you can see that. Okay, let's change the actual start of one activity. That is a successor to the other one. Okay, like this. I have one activity, then I have another activity that depends on activity, the previous activity. So I want to change its start, and you see whether it can change the start of this one.
But before we go there, if you scroll down, because now it is being done, I was trying to look at. So first, the one we have first thing is collapse the the interpretation is this. There are activities that we have updated in the tracking Gantt.
Yeah.
100%, and the baseline is clearly shown where these ones are. And now the offsets we have. When you scroll down, the activities you have not done, which are 0%.
Yes.
But at least their dates. Their dates are known.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when you come to an activity of historic temperature, where you see that rain, the first rain.
This one.
What is that activity?
Storing temperature water service.
Water service. It is along the critical path.
Yes.
The truth is, this activity has not begun.
Yes.
0%.
Yeah.
But we hope to begin it around April 4th. It will be a Saturday. Sunday. It is a Monday.
It will be a Monday. It jumped here.
It will be April 4th. 21st. To be Monday, yes. Those are important issues we want to look at. When you are not beginning something, but when you are updating them, you want to see when you start on it. So the 0% done, I want to start, and I think this table, this is the tracking Gantt.
It's a tracking Gantt. It's a tracking Gantt, but there are very many tables. But now I'm in a tracking table.
A tracking table.
Yeah.
Can easily show this.
Yeah, it can show it. Yeah. Then also we want to test.
So look at this.
You want to test this. If we add, okay, we can see that this activity, the one we are actually talking about, is depending.
It is dependent on activity 2.
Okay, let's get one that it depends on just one, because this one is depending on 2. And when we're depending on 2 activities, there is some technicality that comes in. I hope you know that. Like if I have an activity and it depends on 2 activities, but they have different durations and different finish dates. For example, if my activity C depends on 2 activities, activity A and activity B. So if activity A is ending on Friday, then activity B is ending on Wednesday. When should activity C start? It starts after the other long one. So this one will get done, but it has to wait for the other one. Yeah. So let's test with just the one that has one dependent. Yeah. For example, here we have this. It is depending on submit monthly request for payment.
It's dependent on number 8.
Yeah, so it is depending on number 8. So we're going to go and increase the duration of number 8. Okay, the finish.
So we increase number, yes.
We increase the finish of number 8, and you see whether this will also push. So we go to, so which column do you think we should adjust? There's, you can put actual finish.
You can adjust dates.
Yeah, you can adjust the dates.
This one doesn't allow for some days.
It has also
The
days.
actual duration.
This number 8, you can go to actual duration. Okay, suppose it took 2 days. Then also the actual finish. This is for, okay, it starts with a month. I think it starts with a month.
I thought if I did not do this, it would automatically update some of these dates. But you need to.
You have 2 parameters. Either start and duration or finish and duration.
So you have to adjust one of those two.
Okay, if you adjust one, if I only adjust duration, it means that the start stayed the same, but now and also the finish, but the duration is, so it may not be making sense.
I thought the computers when I plug in 2 days, it will automatically pick from the start.
So it will leave the start fixed.
It will leave the start fixed.
Yeah.
From there,
it will take the, yeah.
So the finish will change.
Yes.
And then you can also dictate on the finish.
Yeah, you can dictate on the finish. Then it will adjust the duration. If you don't touch the start, yeah. But you just have to be keen and put the real things that happened on the site in order for you to get nice results. Yeah. So I've adjusted the number of days and also actual finish. So now let's go back and look at it. Okay, it has not shifted. So that can happen in 2 ways. Most of the times the way it can adjust automatically is when the activities are auto scheduling. When you've given them to be auto scheduled. The way we are moving a project there. When you move a project and they are auto scheduled, it will push. Then another one, it can be auto scheduled, but when the activity has some slack.
Yes.
Yeah, like it has some days of float, like maybe it allows for 2 days lag. Yeah, like maybe you can delay it a bit, and yeah, but in most cases it does that because it is still on manual scheduling. You have to change it to auto scheduling. So most of the times it is good to schedule activities when they are like they are on manual scheduling. But when you're done and you're sure this is what we're going to follow, you can now change them to auto. Because when you work with auto, it will always adjust automatically, and you think maybe I've already filled here, I've already done this. Yeah. So it's always good after you've confirmed the schedule. Yeah, but when you are just making it, leave it to manual. Because if you put it to auto, the moment you put even if duration and there are some predecessors for it to automatically calculate and gives you other things, and you won't be able to track where the problem is. Yeah. So it is under task mode. Okay, if the some columns you may find that it has gone. You can hide the column and also bring it back. So if you hide the column, it will show that it's not there. But you can bring it back, though it can't reposition. Like task mode. Yeah, it can't reposition.
I think task mode was this one.
If it has disappeared, you like I've showed you, you can put it back.
For example, flash there. Let's put it like that. Just put it. Has it disappeared?
If it is not there, you can add it. Go to add new column and search for task mode.
It cannot move back.
Cannot, yeah, it cannot be. Yeah, that is, maybe I will see a way of how we can move, but it can't. You can move it. You can move it, but you have to hold. You have to you click on it, then hold until you see this line.
I click then hold.
Not the mouse, just the mouse.
Then
It has to show a line. The other like when you want to click. See that line? When you try to use it now.
so it's
Okay.
distance mode that we shall do what?
Yes.
Can you explain to me that what precedence?
Precedence.
Yeah, in this document, because that's what they normally use when they are trying to interpret to the maybe the consultant when you're contracting.
Okay,
So
but
they use that word when you're taking them through the program.
but precedence is same as priority.
Priority.
Yes.
Okay, I want you
When something has a high precedence, it means that it has a high priority. It's given the chance first. Yeah.
it comes first before the other.
Yes.
So if activity A is the precedence of B and C, that means A comes.
But okay, for precedence, when you explain it, is that it has a high precedence. You can have high or
There's
low.
what we call predecessor.
Yeah, precedence is different for
What
priority.
comes first?
No, for predecessor, the opposite is successor. Yeah, precedence is something now different. It's priority.
Okay, precedence is the one which comes first. Then
No, that is a predecessor.
predecessor.
Yeah.
Predecessor is the success.
Okay, if I have a
comes
task,
after
no, if I have a task, if I have 3 tasks,
You give a very simple task of where you close and busy. I first when I close and I bend.
activity A and activity B.
So if I have 3 activities, task A, B, and C.
Yeah.
So if activity B depends on A,
Yes.
so A is a predecessor of B.
It comes first.
Yes. So if this one comes after this one, C is a successor.
So A is the
Is a predecessor.
The one is
It's a predecessor, not
predecessor.
precedence. Yeah, precedence is priority.
Not preparation.
Yeah. It's predecessor.
But
predecessor.
what happened? You're trying to get what you call
Predecessor, yes.
is here.
It is already automatic, I think.
It comes first.
I wanted to overcome. Big man,
Yes.
we have seen the manual
Mm.
and the auto,
Mm.
but it is just in a particular role. Yes, on task.
It is for each
For the
task.
particular task you want this one, manually. I wanted them all to be automatic. All of them, yes, such that I'm not bad. I'm sure when you have just
This one, I think. What made it possible?
Hey,
It can't do it. Maybe I'll try and start. It can't do all of them at once.
it has to be one by one.
Yeah.
So you can also try to find
I'll try to find out how we can do it.
information is something that is not something that is better than seeing.
Okay, maybe let's check in options. It has to be in options when the default is. Let's check. If it is somewhere, then it is in options. Schedule. Yeah, auto scheduled tasks. Scheduled on.
Right from the project start date.
Okay, that one I've never gone so much into it, but I think it is under options. New tasks created. Yeah, it is here.
And then we auto select.
New task created. You can decide them to be auto or manual. So when you put auto, let me use a new project. Okay. Can go to file options. You come to schedule. Then new task created. Say auto scheduled. Then okay. So if I create tasks, yeah, like that. But later on it cannot change. But you can go to options and set that all the new tasks created should be now. Yeah. Yes.
So that means it's better you work from manual scheduling.
It is better to work from manual scheduling than later on. Because now let me show you why I'm saying that. If I'm doing like manual scheduling,
Can't you go back to manual scheduling?
you can change from it. Okay, like for certain scenarios, if you're doing manual scheduling and you put the date that is not making sense, for example, you put start to be 1st March, then your finish is maybe before. It will put like to underline it. But when it is in auto, it will try to adjust. It will try to adjust it automatically. But when it adjusts automatically, you never know which date is it given. Yeah. So let's cover another thing. This computer is going down.
After updating progress, we have to look at variance.
Pardon?
After you have updated the progress, look at variance. Is it the other tables plus variance?
Yeah, that is the variance analysis. Then you're going to look at multiple projects.
Multiple projects.
So now we are going to look at sharing resources. we are now going to look at sharing resources. Resources. Yeah, it can be under multiple projects or not. For example, if you are the same company, okay, like you are in a company, and you know that we have 40 engineers, we have only 3 project managers and this. It is better you create one file that has all those resources. So you can always refer to that. You don't need to repeat. So when it is even across multiple projects, you can be able to know very well that maybe I've over-assigned resources. Maybe I've assigned someone in 2 different projects at the same time. And give us the slash. If you say you can transfer, do it that way. But sometimes it takes long. I'm seeing it. Okay, so now we're going to look at that and we shall call it a day. Okay, we covered already micro projects, but I'm going to show you, then we'll also do that. Yeah. So in order for you, okay, there is a case, a scenario where you're a project manager of maybe more than 1 project. And you want all of them, like you can easily access them.
The same fund.
Yes. You have multiple projects. Yeah. Maybe you are the overall project manager. Yeah. You're doing two roads at the same time, and you have to go this side and the other side, and you want to know what is happening the other side, without you looking for files and what. So what you do, MS project is file based, so you cannot jump creating more files. Everything depends on the file. So what happens is that you create a file for a master project, or like for all the projects that you have. Then the other projects will have different files.
There's a master file.
Yeah, there is a master file, then the other projects. Yeah. So in one folder, if you're working on 2 projects, you have one folder that has like all my files, or for example, there are construction projects or road projects. Then within that same folder, now you have maybe Ginger Road, this other road. Then now you bring them into the master file. Yeah. So let me look for a folder. Let's see. Okay. Anyway, I can demonstrate it with these just templates.
I have written normally from there. When I forget the code, my part is working.
So this is what I've explained to you is what I'm trying to do. Like you're going to see how the folder looks like. So the folder is going to be like that. So here I've created projects. They have some activities within them. Project 1 and project 2. So this one of my projects, it is a blank. It's a blank project. It's going to act as the master for the other two. Yeah.
So you put the two projects under one folder.
Then I'm going. Yeah. Let me open the folder and you see the way it looks like.
So we are showing you opening a folder of projects.
This is how it looks.
Three projects.
I have project 1, project 2, then the other one is the master. Yeah. So for example, like we are in an engineering firm, we do construction, we do maybe electricity.
There's a folder, my desktop, known as multiple projects. Under that folder, I have 3 projects under there. There's project 1, there's project 2, then there's also my projects.
Okay.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, okay, project 1. That is now one project that is going on, you're doing. Then project 2 is also another project that's going on. So what this my project, it is blank, doesn't have any activity. We want to bring the other 2 into that one. So it is the master. Yes.
Is it a master that the other master you have to create it blank or for now as a
Okay, it is for demonstration purposes, but it's better to be blank in that, for example, you have like my projects, then, okay, you're going to see the way it displays here. You see that if you create some activities inside, it may not make sense. Yeah. So now I'm going to go to the blank project. I will send you my recording. Okay, let's continue. I'm going to go to, this is the master project. Yeah,
It is empty.
It is empty. So I'm going to go to, okay, first wait, I share with you. Yeah. So
shortly.
So now what we're going to do, you come here. So let's just call it, we can say my project. You know, even when we are creating a project, in the first zero, that first zero, we enter it as a task, then later on we indent. Yeah. So even if we don't do this, even if we do it, but the most important bit is you come to where I want to import the other projects too. Like the first project, I want to import it here. I come to project, sub-project, then I go to its location. So it's not that they should be located in the same folder, but that one just makes it easier for you to access. Yeah, so I want to start with project 1, and I click insert. So when I click in insert, you can see it has brought the whole project. Yeah, all the activities that come here. Yeah, so I go and bring another one, sub-project, project 2, insert. So it is here.
Sub-project is what?
Project, then sub-project. Yeah, so we want to show that these belong to my projects. So I right-click and I indent them. Yeah, just the normal indenting. So now you can see that under my projects, I'm having these other 2 projects. I have residential construction and commercial. Yeah. Click on residential, I see the activities. I click on commercial, I see all the activities. So now let's look at the duration. See duration, 354 days for all my projects. Yet residential is 152 and commercial is 340.
It has kind of like combined the 2.
Is the duration for all the projects
Combined.
combined in this one?
It's 344. But when I have 344, so one is embedded in the other.
One might be within the other.
So that depends on the start of those two activities. So for now, they all have the same start. Yeah, so now that means the other one of 152 will get done and this one continues. Yeah. But if you make one a predecessor to the other one, for example, I can come here and I say, in order for me to start commercial construction, I must finish residential. Residential is 2. Yeah, you cannot make a tax. Okay. Okay, we who can know why it was doing that?
Put the same one.
I wanted to put it here. Like I'd put 2, it's supposed to be 3.
2 is supposed to be.
Yeah. So we wanted to say commercial depends on residential, which is 2. Yeah. So now you see the days. They are now 496. So now that means I have to first finish commercial construction, and it's even the date adjusted. That this is going to start after you need first finish residential, then you start commercial. Yeah, so residential is a predecessor to commercial construction. Then commercial construction is a successor.
So you can work on those 2 projects in the same environment.
Yeah.
And try to assess resources if you're not.
You can work back and forth. Now see, I'm going to try to close.
It depends on the projects that Microsoft projects can handle.
For this?
Yeah. How many projects? Like pre-Variance.
Tomorrow?
Yes. Okay, it has a limit, but I'm not sure about it. I think it is either 40 or 11. One of the 2, but you can find. Yeah.
40 or 11?
Okay, I'm not sure of the number, but what I'm sure of is Primavera has more than what Microsoft project allows. Yeah. So now we have this. That's what I wanted to show you. So you can, when you go and modify the other file, remember we have now 3 files. When you modify from the other side, those changes reflect here. When you modify here, they reflect back. Yeah. So you can just come here and let's just change maybe 23. Even if they are not under auto, as long as you make any change, because these are just linked files.
Whenever you make a change, it affects another project.
It affects, remember, this is a master project. When I modify, it's going to affect the other, like child project. Like project 1 or project 2.
So it means
it's better always to change from the other particular project so that it can be
unless you're on the same site.
It like you can change anyway. So you see, when I try to save, have a look at this. When I try to save, here it warns me. You want to just save to this, or you want to save to all? When you say yes to all, it's going to save back and forth here and the other one.
If you say yes, you just save this one.
It will just save this one, but when we are importing, there's something I forgot to show you. When you're importing and select this, there is this. See this? Yeah. So when you check that it links to project, it will link them together. So that's where the modifications are possible.
It becomes automatic as you save.
As you change the other one, there also the other ones get saved.
As long as you command it to link.
Yeah, so let's cover some like in 10 minutes or even less than, because we time bad. Yeah, so we're going to cover sharing resources. Yeah. So Sharing resources, I said it is very important. Maybe you're an organization and you understand these are resources that are already there. So you don't need to always input them in, like every time you create a new project, you have to go to resource sheet, change their names, So what you do, create a file, and that file will be called the resource pool. So when you create that file, don't put anything under activities. Just go straight to resource sheet and put your resources. So this is my blank resource pool. I'm going to go and I save it. And I say resource pool. Okay, maybe resource pool for maybe XYZ company. I save it. Then now I come, task, resource sheet. Then I put the resource names, like resource 1. So we're not going to go into details of the other details.
Materials.
It can be people.
They can machines.
So now that is the blank file. So let me create now. I'm in a new project. Another project, just a new project. Maybe there is task 1. When you come to under resources, you can see I have nothing. So let's go to resource. Then you come under resource pool. Then you go to shared resources. So you come here and say use resources. Like use resources, then you choose one of the files that have the resource pool. So this is the file that we want. Then I say okay. Okay, there are these options. Like on conflict with calendar or resource information, pool takes precedence.
Pool takes precedence.
What it means is that you may find that in the resource pool you created a certain calendar, and in your project is different calendar. So if you say pool takes precedence, it means that it's going to take the calendar of the resource pool. So that can be important if you created a catch-up calendar for your resources and you know that my resources will only be available at this time. So it takes. Then if you say share takes precedence, it means that this project is now the share. If it takes precedence, it will use its own calendar. In case there is conflict. So when you press OK, now let's go back to resources. See? I can access them. So that's how you when you come to resource sheet, it automatically populates them from the other file. So time we're running out of. So Brian, do you have any question?
I'm not there.
We are recording.
17 people made.
So whatever I've been asking them here.
One is South Africa.
I thought you are the only people. But what about, are they looking at the screen?
Exactly.
Which screen is there?
That screen, yes.
You have seen that one. But